Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Let's see. USB audio settings.
Meow.
Oh, I hear somebody.
That's me.
Okay. I could barely hear you, Art.
Yeah, we can barely hear the melodic tones of Art.
Okay,
There you are. Now you're there.
that's weird.
It is weird.
I got a new book, Art. You got to read it.
Okay, is it in the list?
Oh, yeah.
The problem is with waiting for Martha Wells, I've stumbling through the library, and every time I stumble through the library, I find a few more things and get tied up in them and so forth and so on. So it's an addictive process, I would say.
It
Great.
never ends, right?
Great. Yeah, this latest one is don't start reading it till you got time.
Yeah, well, that's why is this like a James Michener kind of thing, which goes on for 800 pages?
No, it's just so interesting you can't put it down. It's not terribly long either. It's just you can't put it down.
Is it? I didn't see any new ones in this week's list. Is this in this week's list?
Yeah, it's the blue one at the top.
No, let me go take a look. Oh, short history of nearly any. Actually, I started that a while ago and ran out of, got diverted on somebody else, and it expired before. In other words, it got turned back into the library before I could finish it.
Now you can set your expiration for 21 days if you haven't done that.
Oh, my expiration is by default 21 days.
Oh, okay.
The problem is maintaining focus on a single book for that long. I stumble across something else, and so I say, I think I'll do a little bit of this, and next thing I've checked it out and so forth and so on. A couple of them I've got now are nonfiction on the list. Let me see if I can find them here. Come on. Oh, there's one, a couple of cooking or eating books. One is Stanley Tucci's Taste, and the other is Alton Brown's Good Eats. I don't know if you've ever followed Alton Brown, but he had a TV series for a long while. And the interesting thing about him was that he basically looked at cooking. He was an excellent cook, but he looked at cooking from the point of view of chemistry and physics. In other words, what happens as you cook something, or what happens as you add vinegar to something, and so forth and so on. So I always found him fascinating.
He was on Mythbusters 2 or 3 times doing science cooking.
Yeah.
The science of cooking or whatever, disproving something because he knew the answer.
Yeah, well, he used to have a regular weekly show.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a interesting dude.
So anyway,
he had he did a game show on Food Network for a while. I don't know if he's still doing that or not.
Well, he was the host of what was it? Not ninja cookers.
Yeah, it was like a food battle kind of deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can't remember what the name of it was, but they would get a couple of hot shot cooks in there and they would duke it out. And what the heck was the name of that?
You like Bobby Flay then.
Well, he was on there and
You're thinking of
Vitalio,
Iron Chef,
Iron Chef.
Iron
Iron
Chef
Chef.
America.
Yeah, he was host of Iron Chef America. I don't know if they're still on or not. I mean, I have lost track of TV recently in the last 2 years, I guess. So
That's not the show I was thinking of though. He was on another show that they had amateur cooks in there and they just did crazy stuff with food.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, he was a host of Iron Chef for a number of years. I don't know if he's still is or if Iron Chef even still exists.
Let's see
But
here.
all of these things, you know, yes, Alton Brown.
Oh, that's what I was just getting ready to do.
Yep. Mario Vitale was another one on there.
Yeah, they don't have all his Cutthroat Kitchen. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Okay, I don't think I ever saw that one. I only have. Wait a minute, I think this from my house. Does that sound better?
There you go.
Well, you guys should tell me that the microphone is poked out of my ear. Okay.
IMDb only has a few of his credits listed. That's kind of
Yeah.
weird
Well,
because he's been in a lot of stuff.
oh yeah,
So,
definitely so. Can you still hear me?
yeah. It's a lot better now.
I didn't realize that I had the thing poked up vertically there. So at any rate, so what's happening today? I knew you were going to be home there, Leroy, but what happened to the rest of the show?
I just decided to be virtual.
Oh, okay.
Leroy's not gonna be there. What's the point in living, you know?
Yeah, right. So it's the granddaughter this time, Leroy, or
Mhm. She's out there playing video games. She's being a good kid.
well, knock wood. I wouldn't say that too loudly. That can change without notice.
She's really a good kid.
Well, you generally, if you feed them, if you keep them fed and napped, you're in pretty good shape.
Throw her down in front of a TV and give her a video game and she's fine.
Okay.
She does seem a little grumpy today. I mean, she just got home from school, so she is.
Well, that's enough to make anybody grumpy.
Yeah.
I don't remember my public school experience fondly at all. There were a few years which were good, but I remember elementary was tedious.
I think she likes school, so she just gets tired after, so long.
Yeah.
She goes there for 8 hours. It's too long. So
she's there for 8 hours. That's a long school day.
It's a long day. She goes at, I think it's 8 hours. She gets out at 3. She goes at 8. So.
well, it's about 8 hours. So,
3, 7.5 hours.
that's 7 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's there. I mean, it's a long day, and she runs around with her friends. They have like 3 recesses, so they get
Oh,
to go
wow.
and play.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's the best part of school, going to play. She gets to go and play.
well, does she have a lot of kids around where she lives, or so school is really her only socialization with her peers? So,
With peers. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's pretty much true. I mean, she's got she sees her cousins every week or so, but that's not really.
Yeah. Well, it used to be be different when families had bigger kids. When
Yeah.
families were bigger.
Yeah, she's an only kid.
And there's a lot of those these days.
Of course, her cousins, her aunt has 3 kids, but none of them are really her age. But I mean, they're close enough. So they all play together.
My recollection of being a kid was that once there was 3 years separation, they were like a different generation, basically. I mean, they had nothing in common.
The oldest grandkid, he's got to be going on 13 or 14 now, and he puts up with playing with the kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's old enough. He's old enough that he does not want to play.
Yeah. Well, it's like the classic kid brother, the one that hangs around all the time, wants to be part of the action, but doesn't understand more than about half of what's going on. So
Yeah. But yeah, school is where all her friends are at school. That's where she gets to play. She gets to play. And she still loves math. She's still really good at math. So,
well, that's good.
she's going to become a programmer or something. She knows more about math than I do, I think.
Programmer or an accountant, one of the two.
I think accounting would be boring.
It is, I can tell you for sure. With my MBA program, I had to take a number of accounting courses, and they're routine. Basically it's all by rote. So
Right.
now if you get to be a senior accountant, so you're calling the shots and so forth and so on, it gets a little more interesting. But the grunt work in the trenches is definitely boring. But I always loved math. I was always,
It's Steve in the dark.
yes.
And we can't hear Steve in the dark.
Steve is a ghost today. So can you hear us, Steve? Okay. All right.
Give me a moment. I'm working on it.
There you go.
Okay.
Better.
Yeah, you
A
came
lot
up
better.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
So this is the camera on a Maestro. Do not expect much. It isn't that dark here.
You are you're looking pretty dark.
What's Maestro? I hate to expose my ignorance, but what's Maestro?
$60 laptop from Micro Center.
Oh, that one. The one you got for $30.
Yep.
Okay.
The one that's decent but not great.
It's
the-
usable.
But $30 is the right price, and
Yeah, $30 is $30. Okay.
um, I don't really know if you can see yourself, Steve, but it's fairly dark.
Yeah. And I'm under, I'd say about 120 watts of light.
That's kind of interesting.
Oh, and Jim has gone dark also. Oh, that's brighter.
That was solidarity. Solidarity.
I got a 50-inch, I've got a 50-inch screen, so when Steve's there, I'm dark. When the other guys, I'm bright. Some would laugh at that. Yes.
Okay.
See, there's art, so I'm bright now.
So that light is just coming from the screen, or do you have
Yeah,
other lights?
I'm sitting about 3 foot from a 50-inch screen.
But the only lighting in the room right now is from the screen, not from.
Right.
Okay, that's interesting.
Hey, big girl.
Yeah, I've got the door open, and it's nice sunny day. I've got the window, the blackout curtains over the window, but I've got the door open, so I've got a lot of light coming in right now. By the way, Iron Chef America apparently ended in 2018.
Okay.
It may make a comeback, but apparently it was 2018.
Okay, it must have run for what, 10 years, something like that?
It says 2004 to 2018, so
14 years, 15
14 years. Yeah.
Well, all of these kind of fad programs, I think, have a finite life. You know, eventually people get bored with them. They repeat the same themes again and again and again. And whoa, is that the puppy?
That's the puppy.
He
When
sounded
we
a
bought the
little,
puppy, she was 8 pounds. She's up to 32 now.
I was going to say, it sounded a little deeper voiced than the
I was trying
last
to get her
few.
to come over here and make an appearance, but nah, she's playing with
She's
the
shy.
stick.
She's shy. Yeah, a 30-pound dog eats a fair amount, I would assume.
She eats almost as much as I do.
Oh, okay. I'm not calibrated for that, but okay.
Okay, Google. Turn on table lamp.
There's her butt.
Turning on the table lamp.
There you go.
Now you're almost washed out, Tim. Now there's almost too much light.
I'm pretty much washed out. Yeah, that's true. That's what Gail says. She uses the term washed up. I don't know.
Wow.
Is there a difference?
So can you adjust the brightness of the lamp, or is it strictly on or off?
No, it's just on or off.
Okay.
I give you guys a break. There's so much beauty you can take at one time. Me and
that's-
Leroy had to watch how much beauty we let you guys see.
So, so what's your background today, Leroy? Oh, cool.
That is just a classic 1950 style spaceship on some foreign planet. Probably the moon. That's probably the Earth over there.
So this is just on a green screen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And amazingly enough, I've got enough light in here right now that it, except for this little corner right here, it is it's completely, it did completely what it's supposed to do.
It looks good. I need to upgrade my background picture. This one is a little dated at this point. Oh, yeah.
There's a puppy. I could, let's see.
Yeah, I don't think she qualifies as a puppy anymore.
She's not full grown yet. She's only 4 months old.
Really?
Yep. She'll end up being about 50 pounds when she's done.
Oh, cool.
Show your face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. As long as she can bite something, she's happy.
Sounds like my ex-wife.
I don't know what that's supposed to be a picture of. Oh. That's my new car.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the new Batmobile.
Oh,
So you got that in the police auction?
Oh yeah. They said the
Oh.
guy was doing 300 miles an hour down the road with his jet powered car, and I said, "Oh, cool. I want that."
That's classic.
That is classic. The wheel in space.
Yep.
I think I got that. This one, I think Vicente had. It's a Starship, Elon Musk's Starship, I think.
Southern Texas. Coolness.
I got a bunch of background.
I was going to
pictures.
say, you got a tremendous collection there.
America.
You and Patton. I don't know if you remember the movie, but
That, I believe that is Asgard.
uh-huh.
When I was in basic training, whenever the drill sergeants couldn't think of something for us to do, we'd go over to the theater on the other side of Doughboy Field at Fort Dix, and they'd have us watch Patton again. I had to have seen that movie like a dozen times.
Yeah. The movie was far better than the real thing.
George would appreciate that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was an outstanding actor. A little difficult to get along with, as I understand. Oh. So what's that, like the Seawolf?
No, that's the Memphis.
That's the one you were on.
That's the one I was on. I'm not real. That may have been taken in Groton in Connecticut. I'm not real
Well,
sure where that picture was taken at.
I was going to say, you got the green hills back there, so
Yeah.
it could have been.
Yeah, I'm not real sure where that picture was taken at.
Could have been New London.
There's
That's classic. That is super classic. That looks like a cover off of an amazing, not scientific, amazing stories in 1950 something.
It probably was based off of something like that.
What's this one?
It's the Dark Knight.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And what's this one?
That's back to the same one.
That's the one that's the first one. And then of course we've got
Devil's Tower.
Yeah. Close Encounters.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
think I'll stick with my original. I feel like I'm in 1950s outer space movie.
Yep. It's interesting how much Elon Musk's looks exactly like the 50s rendition of a starship.
Well, most like the Cybertruck, that thing looks
Yeah.
like it came out of a science fiction show.
Oh, yeah.
I just haven't placed my finger on where that came from.
No, it does. It does. I think he probably takes a lot of those old science fiction stories as inspiration.
Like nope.
Oh, yeah.
See, I think that's what
Yeah.
Starship X or whatever it's based off of. I think that's the same movie. I think Elon
What's
Musk
the name?
lives.
Noah Beery down there. That's Wallace Beery's son, I think.
Elon Musk is living in that movie.
Well, I'm probably the only one here who actually saw that movie in
In the theater.
real time.
I watch that movie I think it's on Tubi. I watch it every couple of weeks when I get bored.
Is she still teething, Steve?
Not really, though she hasn't lost any of her first teeth yet. She likes being fierce. Given an option,
Oh, okay. You know who that looks like?
Walt Disney.
Sure does. I assume it's not. I assume it's an actor, but
Every time I see him explaining that rocket, I go, wow, Disney actually acted.
well, he was a fabulous cartoonist, but I think he was better at orchestrating other people than performing. Certainly the Disney worlds and the Disneylands and so forth and so on took a fair amount of project management, if you will. But have made an obscene amount of money over the years.
Yeah.
Take your family to Disneyland or Disney World, either one these days, it costs you have to take a second, third mortgage on your house.
I've worked for Disney World and for Kings Island. At Kings Island, we figured for everybody that came through the front gate, we got about $280.
Yep.
For Disney World, it was about $600, and that was a long time ago. I figure now figure about $1,000 a day for Disney World.
That doesn't include housing. That's just the park itself. So that didn't include the hotel and all that stuff.
No, you're on your own for that.
Well, it's the ultimate business model. Well, let me figure out how to transfer money from your bank account to my bank account.
If you go to Disney World right now, you end up with a little RFID watch, and that thing can be tied directly to a credit card. So
Oh, fabulous.
you can walk into a shop and pick up a toy and just scan your wrist on the way out with it, and mom and dad don't find out about it for about a week.
They don't find out about it until the bill arrives.
Yep.
So they give them to kids too?
Everybody gets one. The parent, whoever buys the tickets, can assign who has what rights.
Ah,
And or where they can shop at.
There are categories of shopping, but
Like lunch and food and
yeah,
that kind of stuff.
you can set it so your kids can get food and not buy toys and stuff.
Yeah. That would make sense. You don't want to starve them, but you don't want them to go and buy $3,000 worth of Disney junk either.
No.
Kings Island is, I think this year was the first year that they went completely cashless. They were doing the same thing. They were supposed to do the same thing.
Really? I hadn't
Yeah.
been up there this year.
Yeah. Edwin works there. He works in the games department, but he said, the games department has been cashless for a while. Now the entire park wants to go cashless.
When they were strictly cash, I was in the electronics department working on pinballs and pretty much anything that was broken. If it plugged in, we worked on it. But my shop was background sound, and they had two banks, two areas where the employees would count their day's earnings and turn it in and account for everything. And the one down in Old Coney, they would set up 4 of the 6-foot-long portable tables, and everybody would put their stacks of singles and 5s and 10s and 20s, and it would completely cover that table a foot deep, or all those tables a foot deep. It was wild to watch all these kids counting that money.
Yeah.
oh, they didn't have counters like the banks?
Not at that time, they didn't.
Yeah. He's worked long enough that they when he started working, they were still taking cash, and they switched to a cashless system 3 or 4 years ago, I think. But now you've got to buy a card, or I guess they give you the card, but you go and you put however much you want to spend on that card, and that's your limit for the day. So it may or may not be such a bad idea. The card is supposed to be reloadable though, so you could, in theory, run back up to the front and reload.
So you can bump it up, so to speak.
Yeah. Oh.
There you go.
I thought Vicente was going to be here. I made a little progress on my robot, but
Okay.
I actually think that amazingly enough it works, but I think there's an error in the code. I don't think it should work. I think it I'm
That's a
trying to,
feature.
yeah, I printed out the code so I could see what it is I did, because I've got it turning now, and it's supposed to see the new tag that it turns to and then stop. But I realized I'm not decoding the JSON string. So even if it reads the serial port, it wouldn't know that it was at a new tag or not. So I don't know how it's actually doing what it's supposed to be doing.
It's magic.
Well, I know when I went to try to fix it, and it stopped working altogether. I'm like, okay, we'll just go back to the code that I know is wrong, but works.
Okay. Seems a reasonable approach.
So basically I'm sitting there going, what did I do? How did I make this do what it's supposed to do? And it shouldn't be working.
So you find it more comfortable to work on paper than on the screen?
In general, no, but I have sat there and stared at the code. Now I'm going to go through and circle
Oh,
things and go, I don't have a flow chart. That's one thing that I have gotten away from, is making a flow chart. So I was going to go through and try to make like a logic diagram of what it's actually doing, because I think it's stuck in a loop somewhere and it shouldn't be. I think that's what's happened. And it actually should drop out of a loop when it acquires the new tag, but I don't think it is. I think it's stuck in that loop. But
For myself, I always prefer working on paper. I can cross-reference things a lot easier.
yeah, when you start dealing with 50 different variables, and I've got flag variables so that it can loop inside of itself without being inside the main loop. And when you start dealing with a bunch of different variables, it's just easier to look at it on paper and go, okay. Because I think I've reused one of the variable names in something too, which I don't think will cause a problem, but it's not right.
yeah, but you should be able to test for that. What IDE are you working in?
Right now I'm just using the Arduino IDE,
Oh,
which
okay.
is, it's not the greatest thing for troubleshooting. Or I actually tried to port all this code over to Platform.io last night, and when I went to compile it on Platform.io, it just threw out tons of errors, and I'm like, why does it compile in one IDE and it doesn't compile here? What the heck are you doing?
Well, we used to have something about it many, many years ago when I was working in Unix back in the 80s. We had something called lint. I don't know if that's still around or not. Steve, do you recall lint?
It is. It is.
Whoa. Did the, did the dog take Steve out or what?
The dog.
The dog got aggressive or what?
What?
Yeah, she jumped on the back of the screen.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
What was lint supposed to do?
Well, lint would find, first of all, it found syntax problems.
Oh, okay.
It went through and got those to begin with. And then the more sophisticated versions, and the last time I used lint was probably with a VI editor. I was working on C code with a VI editor in the late 80s, maybe early 90s. But it would find, first of all, it found syntax problems. It also found, as I recall, and we're looking 30, 35 years back now, as I recall, it would find some kinds of logical problem,
Mm,
like dead end loops and that sort of thing.
loops that never exit. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like what's his name on the MTA? Anyway, it was basically a tool that was used. Actually, it was before people had IDEs. It was used to help you track down problems, if you will. But it would catch things like multiple uses of the same variable name in different contexts, but where one overlapped the other. So you had a global that was XYZ, and you had a local that was XYZ, and when the global got changed, it changed the local one or
Right.
something like that. I have to look that up. I haven't used lint in, as I say, 30, 35 years. But I remember it was pretty handy. But as I say, that was also before there were readily available IDEs. I don't remember any IDEs in the 80s at all.
Platform IO is pretty good, except you kind of got to work in their constraints. But it'll tell you. I think that's where I realized that I was reusing some variable names because one of the errors was something about a variable, and I'm like, no, that's all right. That's a good variable. And I think I had it in there twice, but it was a vague error. It may have just been a warning, but it was pretty vague. It was pretty vague about what it was trying to tell me.
Well, that's something that in programming, you don't want to be vague.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Politics and programming are not the same. In politics, everybody's vague, no commitments, whatever, no accountability.
Yeah. But here is, let's see here. See if I can do this. See if you can see this. This is the thing that shouldn't work but does.
Okay. Oh, cool.
And see, I've got it offset a little bit. And it catches it and it'll move it to the center and none of that should work.
Well, that looks pretty impressive.
Yes,
It'll work right up until you take it to the library, probably.
it shouldn't be working at all.
It's that aura field in your house there, Leroy.
I put it out on the mat out on the table the other day, and I'm like, oh, cool, it's working, it's working, it's working. Wait, it shouldn't be working. Why is it working? I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning going, there's a problem with the code. Why is this working? But see, I think what I've done is I'm reading the serial port, but it's dropping into this other loop where it also reads the serial port and it decodes inside of the first loop, but it doesn't decode inside the second loop. And I think that's why it's working.
Same port.
Yeah. Yeah, it's reading the same numbers twice. But in one loop it decodes the numbers, and in the other loop it just slows the program down enough to catch the change. I think that's what it's doing. But
Well, that was pretty impressive demo there, I must say.
yeah, I could get it to track. I can hold one of the tags in front of it and it will track left and right. I can move it left and right. It won't go forward or back.
But it'll
On the-
follow, but it'll
but it'll
follow
left
the
and
angle.
right. Yeah.
There's some noise in the background.
Yeah, it sounds.
I'm hearing sounds. You don't have another YouTube video going someplace on the screen, do you?
Kind of like a scanner or something.
Well, I do have the scanner, but it sounds like the robot's going. Did it stop? It was the scanner, maybe. Maybe it was the scanner making that noise. I don't hear it now. Do you?
I don't hear it at all.
Yeah, must have been the scanner. Yes, I feel like I made progress, but I feel like what I've done doesn't work. I know that's crazy.
Hmm.
let that video upload. I have another little demo here in a second,
Okay.
as soon as it uploads. Oh, as soon as the computer catches up with it.
Have you upgraded Zoom recently?
I just did it 15 minutes, 20 minutes before the meeting started.
Any new features?
Uh,
Or is mostly just bug catches and bug checks these days?
I don't really see anything new, but that doesn't. It looks like they've changed like how you can change your virtual background, maybe, and blur my background. I don't know what that. Ugh.
Well, that definitely blurs it, that's for sure.
And it got rid of my virtual background. That's nice of it. I can do all that right from the screen without having to go into the.
Without having to restart Zoom.
Yeah.
Where's the icon to do that? I don't know if I have it or not, but where is the icon to do that? Leroy?
If you click on the arrow right next to where it says video,
Yeah,
there'll be your camera selection, blur my background, choose a virtual background, and video settings.
I don't have blur my background. I have video settings and I have choose virtual background.
What's actually kind of interesting is I don't see the virtual background I was using now.
Yeah,
Like
I lost mine too. Let me see. Choose. Oh, you got to re-choose it if you.
Yeah, but
that's-
it's gone. I don't have it. It disappeared. That seems like a bug.
I don't
Oh.
have blur background down there. I've just got camera selection, choose virtual, and video settings.
Well,
And
I
I just
just,
installed this 15 minutes before the meeting as well.
that's interesting. I installed the Mint version.
I'm still on
Same.
the Ubuntu version on this machine.
Let's see.
Let me see here.
I am where's it? Version 5.11.10 4400. But the virtual background I had looks like it disappeared.
Hmm.
So I am not going to blur a background anymore. That's Starship. Is that it? There it is. I found it. Okay. It definitely was not where it was.
Oh, cool. Is this real time? I guess it is.
No,
No, it's the 13th. Okay, it's yesterday.
Yeah, I got 50 videos in from yesterday, and I got about 10 good ones out of it. Day before yesterday, I got 70 something. Oh my God.
Oh, cool.
I seem to be set. What are you centering there? Yeah, that looks good.
It is attempting to center it. Since the April tag isn't supposed to move, if I move it too fast, it gets out of the camera view. So
Ah, that's cool.
Yep, agreed.
since the April tag is actually supposed to be stationary on the map, it's supposed to center it up and the robot will stop. But as a side effect, if you pick the April tag up and move it, it will move the robot.
Okay.
But I have it at a about a 30-degree angle ish, 30-ish degree angle.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to eliminate it seeing too far in front of it. Oh, look, Vicente came. Of course he did, because I already showed videos.
Oh, okay. Hey,
Vicente!
Hey.
Hello.
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 Hola. What's that?
What are you doing now outside?
Who, me?
Yeah.
He's sitting in his driveway.
Well, that's a picture of my garage is in Milford, actually.
Okay.
I couldn't the problem I've got right now is I've got about 150 backgrounds and scrolling through something, and they're not organized in any way. I guess they're chronological in the order I added them. And so in scrolling through them, finding something is a real challenge. So at any rate, I just got to something that was reasonably neutral and selected it.
Bueno, keep this one and use some tan.
Pardon?
The sun protection. Use a hat or something.
Well, that's true. On the other hand, the UV here in my office isn't too bad.
Don't have to use much sunscreen. That's right. Huh?
That's for sure.
So sorry for interrupt. What's going on?
Well,
You missed it.
Okay.
Leroy was just showing his latest robotics.
If it's working, I miss it.
It's working, but it shouldn't be.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, you send me this video.
Yeah, I
Wow.
think I sent you this video.
Yeah.
But I realized there's actually a mistake in the code. It's actually not decoding the image. I don't know why it's working.
What?
Yeah.
That's a problem that we run into occasionally. Not as much as we like.
moving the April tag is just a side effect of trying to get it to center up, but it is kind of cool. You can pick it up and move it around. But I realized inside the loop where I'm spinning the robot, I'm not decoding the JSON frames. So it's working, but it shouldn't be working.
Strange.
It's very consistent too. I've done it a dozen times and consistently will stop and recenter itself. So
It's working, but you don't know why. This is bad.
I'm very confused. Yes. I am very confused as to why it works. There they are.
This is yours. I printed in your.
Oh, you printed out the tags.
Yeah.
All of them are the same.
Hmm?
201. No,
Those-
203.
Those are the border tags.
Okay.
Those are the border tags. The other sheet,
200.
there should be another sheet with 0 through 48.
There is a program to use the ESP32 for April tag detection, but it's in the IDE of Expressive.
Mhm.
I was working on to translate it to the Arduino environment, but it still doesn't work. But there are too many files, you know. I'm just translating everything to the Arduino environment, but it's huge. It's a lot of work.
The ESP32 camera.
Yeah. So
That's
will be cheap.
interesting.
Will be cheap, and it is working with the IDF of Expressive, but I don't have this environment, so I try to move everything to Arduino. Let's see.
Did you try it with Platform IO?
No, but it's very like the same problem with all the files you need to move. No, all the libraries, all the files. There are a lot. I was compiling and correcting, but I never end correcting. I think I am almost there, but give me a couple of days.
Yeah, I tried to move this code over to Platform IO and it wouldn't compile it. It kept giving me weird errors, mostly about libraries and some other weird stuff that it should not have had a problem with, because the libraries were all in the right spot. So even though it said that it would import the project, it didn't import the project correctly.
I told you I finally I am using the over-the-air update,
Mm-hmm.
so it's working.
Who?
Now I don't need to use a cable to update the sketch. So you can have the robot in the track and just change the sketch. I'm looking for a way of sending commands, you know, to change direction, to change the grade level, just to see it moving to different positions.
There is a library called Web Serial, WEB Serial.
Okay.
Um,
So I can use a terminal.
a web, you use the web browser as a terminal,
Okay.
but it doesn't work with the over-the-air updates.
So
So
no.
the guy that made the web serial library says that if you use the async over the air, it should work.
Yeah.
So there's a
But
different over the air update library.
There is a debug library to send strings to your terminal in the computer, but it's only send. It doesn't receive anything.
Yeah.
It's a debugger. You can send messages of what's going on in your software and see it in Qt.
What library is that?
I don't have I don't remember the name. It's a debug library. You know the guy with the Swiss accent in YouTube?
Uh-huh.
It has the tutorial about that, and
Okay.
he used it.
We lost Art.
Okay. I have this M5 stack camera. You see,
Mm-hmm.
ESP32.
I've got one of those.
You have the camera, the USB connector
Mm-hmm.
here for programming,
Mm-hmm.
and the serial port for your. So it will be nice to have the April tag in this thing. It costs $10, so it will be cheaper. You can have a robot with several cameras around. It has a heat sink
Mm-hmm.
with a kit. I don't know why. Maybe they
It gets hot.
get hot.
It gets really hot.
But it is the ESP32. Why?
I think it's just doing a lot of work to process all that
Probably the software.
software.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Or it's overclock or something. I don't know.
The M5 stack one doesn't get as hot as the expressive camera. My expressive camera
Oh yeah.
got super hot. I put a link to that web serial in the chat.
Web serial. Okay. So you can have both the web serial and the OTA, right?
He in one of the issues that's open there, he says to that the async over the air library will work, but the standard over the air library doesn't work. So I guess you just have to change libraries. It's actually I tried it but I didn't try it with the over the air. It works really well. It actually does. So if we ever have to do
No,
large programs again or large whatever, that it's a good, and you just it's almost a direct replacement for serial. So all you have to do is change your serial display to web serial, and everybody's happy.
I will try it. Interesting. Thank you. That's it.
You're welcome. I think that, but I wouldn't mind finding, I don't need to send this robot commands per se. I just need to see what it's doing. So having something that would show up in the serial terminal would work well for me, I think. So Andre Spears. Oh, a telnet stream. Okay. I could do that too. Telnet would be fine.
Let's see.
No, it wouldn't.
Well, not really, but yes and no and yes.
But you also can flash your ESP32 using web serial. So maybe you change from OTA to web serial and do everything. You know,
I
upload the code and use the terminal like a serial terminal.
I didn't see how to do that.
There is a page. I will put the link. Flash your ESP32 from the browser using web serial.
Huh. Okay. Is that in the Pro model? I don't really want to pay.
Whatever. Maybe I can use the IR controller to talk to the Qt robot. It has a infrared remote receiver. So maybe I can use the remote to change direction and change the value of the, increase and decrease the value of the grade level using this tiny keyboard for infrared communication.
When I was messing with the Marquee robot, The IR library would not work with that. So I just did it the old fashioned way of bit banging, reading a bit bang, and it worked. It wasn't great, but it worked. So you may have the same problem.
Okay. I'll check.
Okay. Yeah, Adafruit has a web serial ESP tool for
For free?
well, it's been archived. This website is no longer maintained. Okay, apparently it is no longer a thing that works.
Maybe they have a lot of trouble with it.
Yeah. Looks like all the projects based around off of it have been archived. That's kind of interesting. Probably means that something changed somewhere and Expressive makes, here's something Expressive has.
I think you can have a telnet connection and use it as a terminal, you know? You speaking how to telnet or serial monitor over Wi-Fi.
Hi, Art. Art's back.
Yeah, I somehow or another locked myself up and I had to do a hard reboot.
Wondered because she just sort of disappeared. That was
Yeah, well, I was fooling around with my background and somehow or another I got everything locked up. So I just did a hard shutdown, bring it back up, and here I am.
Back. Now you are in California.
Now I am in California, specifically Fremont, California.
that's what happened. He was on that jet and it lost Wi-Fi.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
A wormhole.
Yeah, right, a wormhole. So what is the GitHub scene you just brought up in the
Well, we were talking about being able to get information and display information from our robots
oh,
while they're not connected to the serial thing. So there's a couple of different projects that may let us do this. But Vicente wanted to be able to send information to his robot, and that web serial will let him do that, but it kind of breaks the over-the-air updates. So that's what we were looking for, was ways to still do over-the-air and get information
okay.
or send information or both or all three. So
Maybe you can use the Bluetooth with the ESP32, maybe using a Bluetooth connection, a serial terminal in your phone using Bluetooth.
That's what I was thinking, was maybe if you wanted to do an update, you could also use the Bluetooth terminal to send information or get information from the robot.
But I don't know if you can use the Bluetooth and the OTA combined, you know.
Yeah. Looks like a lot of these web serial projects have been archived over the, I found one that was from 10 years ago. I doubt that works anymore. 10 years ago.
That's essentially an eternity in the software business.
Yeah. Well, a couple of years can make a huge difference. So 10 years, that thing's not working anymore.
I have 18-year-old Sun boxes still churning away.
I bet you can't get parts for them anymore.
Oh, I have parts.
You have a stash, huh?
Yeah.
Andre Sphere's code looks, I mean, it's like really simple. It looks really, really easy. And he's using that with Arduino over the air updates.
That's the Swiss guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can have both over the air and web, the web serial.
You just need to see, what was it? There's no example. I don't know if that's a drop-in replacement for Arduino over the air or not. She went home. She opened the door to say bye.
Oh, okay.
And another member.
Yep, there we are.
What?
Your dog and Steve's dog.
Peanuts. Peanuts time. Art, I have something for you.
What's that?
Bourbon.
What is it?
Bourbon.
Bourbon.
Bourbon, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
This is the official one of Kentucky Derby.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's a collector's item.
No, it's from the plane. This is Delta first class.
Delta first class. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I never buy first class, but I fly in so much that they always move me to first class.
Oh, well, you're a first
Mo-
class
mo-
guy.
Half of the times I can move to first class because the silver something.
Unfortunately, I can no longer enjoy bourbon. So it's one of the hazards of getting old, I guess.
I have the big bottle. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one's obviously been open. It doesn't have the seal across the cap anymore.
No, is seal?
Oh, is the seal still there?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I put a link to the asynchronous library
Elegant.
that
Okay.
guy recommends.
You're talking about Judge 2005?
No, Judge 2005. Are you not seeing all the?
Yeah, I've been opening the links as you put them up there.
Okay,
The most recent one is Judge 2005 on GitHub.
that's interesting.
And then the one before that was OTA fails if web server web page is active. And before that, I've got async elegant OTA.
Yeah, that's the one that he recommends using.
Oh, okay.
That guy recommends using with web serial.
I had them in reverse order.
You have them in reverse order. That's
You can use this
funky.
with web serial, supposedly.
Well, let's see.
The same guy that wrote web serial is the guy that wrote the async
Elegant.
Elegant over the air. So
Okay.
I'm guessing they're compatible with each other.
Mm,
Since he's saying to use that for doing the over the air stuff. I don't know. I might try that. Might be.
So that's Sharma 82. Okay.
Yes.
mhm. He updated 5 months ago the libraries and the files, so it's
Let's see.
So they're up
fresh.
to date
Yes, sir.
ish.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that the one that's updated on April 26th?
Mhm, mhm. So, yeah.
Yes. There it is. I see it.
Okay.
There is a tutorial in random nerd tutorials.
For the web serial. I think
The-
that's where I first saw it. Where I first saw it at. Hmm.
nothing about serial, web serial.
Wow, okay.
Sorry, this is the link. I found something that is like a serial USB serial link for Arduino.
Is this the eBay link?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, of course, you could make that cheaper, right?
Well, but you have the USB adapter plus the RF module, right? Inside the dongle.
Which is essentially $13. I
Plus
doubt you can.
$4 shipping.
Oh, okay. I doubt you can make it cheaper than that, but
Your time.
You've
doesn't
got
have value.
the CC 1101. Can get those modules. I think those are still pretty cheap.
But where is the Arduino module in this case? Because this is only the USB part, right?
Yeah. So you need a CC 1101 on the Arduino to talk to it.
Okay. Okay.
But if you had two CC 1101s and you had two Arduinos and you have one of the Arduinos plugged into the serial port,
Yeah. You don't.
you could do it for $5, $7.
Let me check if I have this module.
I mean, it's you could use any of the 433
I think-
transmitters to do it.
I think I have those somewhere.
Yeah.
A couple. Yeah.
So a CC 1100
What is the
1101
the baud rate of this thing?
is they're about $3 a piece.
Yeah.
So you could get two of them and two of the cheap Arduino boards and do it for the same price. maybe not quite cheaper, but a little bit cheaper. Especially if you've already got some Arduino Nanos sitting around.
Let me check in Amazon if they have this thing. But I think I have them in the basement.
Yeah. See, any of those would work, right? I mean, if you used a NRF 2401, which is a pain, but if you use that would work. Because all you need to do is transmit information from one to the other and have it display in the serial terminal.
Yeah. Try that. Maybe it works. Simple way. You can buy 5 of them in Amazon for $16. This is another frequency, but this is legal. It's 868 megahertz. There is another huge link here. This is in Amazon. Delivery on
Yep.
October 6th. I can wait. October 20. And what about this one? Delivery next Saturday.
What's that?
Okay, Jim, what's that all about?
Just looking around and saying, hey, dudes.
Hey,
What's that?
All beers all the time. Okay.
Jim says he's got to get in on the conversation.
It is mandatory.
I only took 300
Jim-
milliseconds. Jeez, guys.
Jim felt left out.
All beards all the time. Okay.
Beard life.
Leroy, you are the RF guy. You think this will work? The last link.
Yeah.
You can have 2 for $10.
Where's this?
Amazon.
Oh,
This is the
okay.
an RF 24L01.
Those look like they're updated boards for. I know you remember, I mean, it's been years ago, but I had to add capacitors and some other stuff to those NRF 2401 boards. They couldn't get enough power. But if these are updated, they should work.
Those are power hungry.
A little bit.
Not good for my tiny battery. I need to move all the road with this battery.
Yeah, see, I mean, you've got Wi-Fi on board and you've got Bluetooth on board. I think I would try to use one of those.
You can use both simultaneously.
Yeah,
Why-
you should
why
be
not?
able to.
Okay, because there are plenty of Android applications for Wi-Fi, for serial terminal using Bluetooth. So
Yeah.
maybe this is the right way.
If you had, even if you didn't want to use your Bluetooth or your Android, you could get another ESP32 and plug it in and use the serial terminal on the computer.
Okay.
And just pair the two over Bluetooth, or pair the two over Wi-Fi and use UDP instead of TCP/IP. There's plenty of examples on using UDP for the ESP32s.
Maybe use additional 2 ESP32s, one in the computer and one in the
One hooked up to the computer.
This will be the cheaper way.
Well, you've already got all the hardware to do it.
Yeah, of course.
So that's probably what I would do, especially since you've already turned the Wi-Fi on. You know, you're using the Wi-Fi for the over-the-air stuff. So you're already using that energy. You're already using that power.
I can use ESP now.
You could use ESP now, yeah.
They don't use almost power for that.
Yeah.
It will be low power and low speed, but it's okay for what I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think I don't think you need to add another RF board into that project.
Yeah. I will try
Maybe-
that. ESP32.
Maybe if you were using nanos or something, but you're not. You're using something that's got RF on board. So
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be
This-
battery operated?
I will use the same power of the robot for the another another ESP32.
Eddie Mama.
yeah. Oh, it's a cat. Yeah, see, that's the great thing about the ESP32. There's like a ton of options that you could use for it.
I
It's
can
just
use
finding the right one, you know.
Can you use ESP now with ESP8266 combining?
I think so, but I think there's a ESP now on the ESP32. You could pair with like a peer-to-peer interaction, and on the ESP8266, I'm pretty sure you needed to know the MAC addresses for everything. So it doesn't quite work the same way, but I think you can make the two work together. I think.
Because I have the tiny modules of the ESP8266. ESP07 or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. You're probably going to have to Google that to see how to make it work, but I think you can make both of them talk to each other.
It can be about 8266 because I have many of those also.
Yeah. Well, that might work too. You could just stick one of those on there. ESP now doesn't really take up a whole lot of power.
Yeah. You're right. You already have the hardware to do that.
Yeah. You don't need to buy any more stuff. I know you have to buy stuff. I have to buy stuff, but you don't need to mess with that.
Yeah. I agree.
So what's the capacity of the LiPo on your robot there, Vicente?
Well, I was experimenting making turns in my track. This battery lasts for 2 hours and 40 minutes.
No, but do you know what in milliamp hours the LiPo capacity is?
800
800?
milliamps, yeah, milliwatts. This is
You okay?
800 milliwatt hours.
yeah.
That's the amount of energy. Okay.
So just moving the motors and the ESP32 for 2 hours and a half is okay. Just for
Well, once you're programmed to do the loops, what does the ESP do then?
no, just checking the sensor of the gray level
Okay.
and driving the motors and
Okay.
commanding the motors at low speed. You know, it goes slow, so you go faster. Maybe you spend the energy faster also.
Mhm. Well,
And
those
it-
are
and
those
it's-
are regular wheels. Those aren't Macam, whatever the hell they
Yeah.
are.
Canum.
The Canam wheels, are they?
I don't know.
No, those are just
The tiny,
Regular.
tiny,
The
The-
Canam wheels, I think, are not very energy efficient. I think there's a
Absolute-
lot of,
absolutely not. And there's 4 motors.
yeah,
yeah.
no, this is really low power.
The battery on this thing is also smaller. It's a 700 milliamp hour instead of an 800. Not much smaller, but small enough. But there's 3 batteries working that, right? There's a battery for the camera, there's a battery for the processor, and there's a battery for the
In your case,
the wheels.
if your robot move faster, it only makes mistakes faster. So you you win nothing.
in this particular case, right? In this particular case, the whole program is a mistake. It shouldn't be working at all. I mean, I'm just amazed that it works, and it shouldn't. It's one of those. Why is it doing this?
Problem.
I'm happy it works. I just don't know why it works.
This is dangerous.
Paradoxical programming.
Yeah, trying to fix.
Magic.
Oh, that's my answer for everything. Why does it do that? It's magic. I don't know.
Usually, when something works and you don't know why, this is a real problem because
Sooner or later, it'll stop
yeah,
working.
yeah, you won't know why. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right? I went in and tried to fix the problem, what I thought was the problem, and it completely broke everything. Everything just stopped working. The thing sat there and spun around and around and around. And I'm like, it didn't even see a tag. It just started spinning around in a circle.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I got you. 2 minutes.
Did you check? You can see the tag if you are moving the tag. I mean,
The what?
if the tag is moving, it identifies the tag anyway. I mean, you shaking the tag.
Yeah,
because
I can move. I have moved the tag around a little bit, and it will stop. I mean, it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's just I don't know why it's doing it.
You have to move it slowly, though, I think.
Slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just there's 2 main loops. There's actually 3 main loops, but there's 2 main loops, and I think it's stuck in it gets stuck in one of the loops. Yep. Jim's saying 1 minute. I guess it's
Maybe you
I
need
guess
to,
we need to stop talking.
maybe you need to make small movements and stop,
Yeah.
to stabilize the image.
I'm going through the code to see if I can't figure out what it is I did. Anyway, I guess it's time to go, guys.
Take care, guys.
Next week in the library.
Next week in the library, Jim?
Next week in the library, Jim.
Okay.
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 Bye.
All right.
Take care. Bye now.
All right. Bye.